We have a Harvard-educated writer, filmmaker, right, and overall wonderful person, right, Sarah Mokh.
I was going to use Harvard in one of my jokes, and now I can't, so thank you. Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is actually my first time doing stand-up for a Muslim audience. You can cheer for yourselves. Woo! Yeah, when I first came to New York, I came for my master's. I was 21 and married, which, you know, if you're 21 and married in New York, you're a child bride. So I had to do things to blend in, like call my husband my partner, like I was a cowboy or something. So I'm glad today I can be myself. I immigrated to the US, to America, when I was 17. Before that, I lived in Dearborn, Michigan. Yeah, and because I went straight to Boston, which is the promised land of the whites, so I had to learn a bunch of things on the fly. It was really difficult. But one of the biggest things I learned is that Muslims who grow up in a majority Muslim place are built different than Muslims who grew up in the East Coast. Like when I got to the East Coast, everyone's talking about like Islamophobia. I'm like, I thought Islamophobia was something we made up to qualify for affirmative action. Like literally, I wrote my college essays about my hijab. Guys, in my junior year AP Lang class, there was one girl who did not wear the hijab. And we all thought she was like thirsty for attention. We're like, okay, like someone's like, you know, we all kind of judged her. Okay, don't give me this. All right, you guys know it's funny. Anyone in a position of power becomes corrupt. This is a fact. Like I'm chilling. Muslims on the East Coast are out here like, they're like, oh yeah, my earliest memories are of my, you know, father's halal cart getting burned. Meanwhile, I'm sorry if that happened to you. Meanwhile, I'm like chilling in my 96% Muslim high school, Muslim preschool, beating up white kids and taking their lunch money. Like, Osama bin Laden's my dad. Yeah, so they developed coping methods. The whites developed coping methods. So as we went through school, you know, they found ways to like band together and like, you know, do what they needed to do to get by. So like by high school, all the white people were in band. They were all in band. And it was because the Muslim kids were not allowed to do band. You know, like our Muslim parents were like, we did not flee war and cross the ocean for you to play the trumpet. Shut up and do your math homework. And I'm like, joke's on you, Mom, now I'm doing stand-up comedy, so. Just kidding, guys, I'm getting my PhD by day, and my mom has no idea I'm here right now. I'm like, you know, a little rebellious, but I also want to live. So, yeah. Other benefits of growing up in Dearborn is I didn't know what white people were like. Like I didn't know there were different kinds of white people. I thought like they were all the same, you know. I thought they were like, you know, they were punk, they like shopped at Hot Topic. That was white people. You know, if you asked me to describe a white person, I would have described Pete Davidson, who I now know is the lead singer of Fall Out Boy. And that actually became a problem for me because last year I started working at SNL. Do you guys know what that is? Saturday Night Live. Don't cheer too hard. I was not in the comedy department or the writing department. I was in the getting yelled at by people department, which was very difficult for me as a Harvard graduate because I had to get yelled at by people who had done worse on the SAT than me. I was like, if I get attitude from someone who went to CUNY one more time, I might just reach my limit. Okay, I'm sorry. There's one CUNY graduate in the audience who's very upset, and I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, I got to SNL like not really knowing what it was. Like I kind of got the job accidentally. I like wandered in like, ooh, what's this? And And my first day on the job, my boss runs up to me, and my job was to like log in the cast and crew for their COVID test. So my boss comes into me, she's like, Lauren Michaels is coming in, get his thing ready. Or get the thing ready. And I'm like, who is that? Do you guys know who that is? Yeah. Okay, cool. I didn't, because I grew up in Dearborn. So I'm like, Lauren. I'm like writing the name tag. I'm writing Lauren, L-A-U-R-E-N, a woman's name. And I'm like thinking, I guess it's the lady who plays Ellen. So I'm like on the lookout for a white woman, like looking for blonde hair. And Lauren walks in. And if you don't know, he's a small man, you know? And he's like, he just kind of stands there. And I'm like, hi, sir. Can I help you? And he was like,
who are you?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. He didn't say that, but that's what he was thinking. And I was like, do you have your app ready so I can check you in? Because if you're a nobody at SNL, you have like a QR code that you use to scan it. And he's like, I don't do any of that stuff. I was like, okay, this poor old man does not know how to use an iPhone. I was like, that's all right, sir. I can look you up. Can I have a name, please? And he stared at me, completely dumbfounded. And he stared at me so intensely that we entered another dimension where I could read his mind. And what he was thinking was, do they really not know who I am in Afghanistan? And I telepathized back. I was like, actually, Lauren, I'm from Palestine. I've been following you, Lauren. I've been following you, Lauren, for years, biding my time. Your family in Israel has been living on my family's plot of land for generations. I've been waiting for this moment, Lauren. How does it feel, Lauren, to be denied entry at the place that you built with your own hands? That's obviously not what actually happened. My boss, she's like, Mr. Michaels, you're good, and shot me a dirty look. I was like, I'm sorry, I haven't seen this guy in any of the skits. And she was like, sketches. I was like, whatever. Yeah, but thankfully I didn't get fired. I kept my job. But I started doing it with the other cast members just for kicks. Like Keenan would come in and be like, who are you? Like, it was a good time. The funniest part of that joke, though, is that I'm actually not even Palestinian. I'm Lebanese, which is close. Fun fact, we were also occupied by Israel. We were just more vigilant over our hummus. Once they started asking us for recipes, we're like, all right, Gal Gadot, slow your roll. And that's why she transitioned to acting. So, sorry. Yeah, what else do I want to talk about? Any Gen Zs in the audience? Woo! Yeah, make some noise. I'm right on the Gen Z millennial cusp. I'm very confused. Some of my friends have a TikTok, some of them have a mortgage. Some of them have both, which means they're millennials in denial. So I was born right on the edge, so millennials think I'm Gen Z, and Gen Z think I'm a boomer. I was talking to my Gen Z sisters today. I had just thrifted this vest. I was very proud of it. I was like, guys, like, look at this vest. Isn't it really cute? And they're like, it's giving monkey in a hat serving tea. So I'm Abu from Aladdin. So that we would fulfill our Aladdin references and we can stop for the evening. Yeah, I orientalized myself for you. But yeah, it's rough out on these streets. These Gen Z are ruthless. The other day, my 11-year-old sister told me, Sada, you were born in the 1900s? The 1900s? Guys, it's like me and World War II. We're in the same category. Yeah, be safe out there, you know, like wear safety vests, do what you need to do. Anyone, I know how this is gonna go. Anyone from Pakistan in the audience? Yeah, everyone. I went to Pakistan for the first time this winter. Cheer, aren't you guys happy? They're all like, why would you go? We were invited to a wedding. Yeah, so me and my husband went to a wedding in Pakistan, and it was really cute because while we were there, people kept trying to like explain things to us. They'd be like, "This is called a mendi." We're like, "Okay, yaar, I know. I live in Edison, New Jersey." It's 10:30 p.m. Bring out the kebabs, cello. Let's go. Compare that to a very different kind of cultural experience. Earlier in the year, we got invited to our first white wedding. First one ever. I grew up in Dearborn, and my husband grew up in Massachusetts, but I guess his family kept him locked in a cage. So we both managed to make it our whole lives without being invited to a white wedding, and we're really excited. Like the day of, it's like 1 p.m. We're like, I was like, make sure like, the invitation says 6 p.m., but like text Andrew and make sure what time we need to be there. So I text him, and he says 3:30 p.m., like 3:30 in the afternoon. So we're like, it's in Connecticut, we're still in New Jersey, we're like scrambling, putting clothes on, like flying to the car. We're like, what could you possibly need to do for a wedding at 3:30 p.m.? I've never been to a wedding that started earlier than 9 p.m. Every Desi wedding I've been to, we've been the first people there, even if we show up 2 hours after the invitation time. Guys, like take this event for example. What time did we start doing comedy tonight? It's like 10 o'clock and I'm only comedian number 2. This event started at 7 p.m. Case in point. So yeah, we make it to this 3:30 p.m. wedding. Like my husband has to go ahead of time because he's part of the groom's party. So I have to take the bus from the hotel. So like I walk in on this bus full of like Long Island whites, and they're all like looking at me like, is she in the right place? And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't know how I ended up here. But just to give you an idea of how uncultured we are, we get to this wedding, and like at some point, they start slow dancing. That's like one of the things they do at white weddings. And like my husband looks up and he's like, wow, it's like Bridgerton. It's like we're Borat, It's like we're experiencing like America for the first time. We're like, can you teach me be like you? Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so the wedding goes on, and then eventually, they have a DJ, and they have like, regular dancing, I guess, like where they go like this. And there's one black person at this wedding. There's one because I counted. I was like scanning the crowd like a hawk, you know what I mean? I'm like searching for melanin. One black guy. Obviously, he's the best dancer. So, poor dude is like carrying the wedding on his back. It's like he cannot catch a break. Like the circle forms around him. He's just going at it. He's sweaty, and everyone's egging him on. Every time he tries to exit, they like push him back in. I'm like, my dude, like out of sincere, pity for him in my heart, I'm like, tap me in, I'll belly dance. You take a break. I've been Sarah Mokh. Thank you so much, everyone.
One more round of applause for Sarah.